Clearly persons that are going to high school and college, but also multiple colleges at the same time. About 30% of community college students today already have some sort of degree, already have an associate degree, a baccalaureate degree, and in many cases even more advanced degrees than that. But sometimes those folks are not finding the opportunities that they want, or whatever those opportunities are not creating satisfaction for them. Many are employed in the corporate world, but they're not finding gratification. Some of them that are involved in the corporate world, some of them that are involved in the corporate world are really involved as intrapreneurs or entrepreneurs working in a corporate environment. And that tends to be something that a number of corporations want, because they want that mindset. But in some cases, those corporations are not acknowledging those persons, and they're not finding enough recognition there. Tina talked about, briefly, studying some of the reasons that entrepreneurs fail as well. And these 2 points here kind of point out some of the reasons that we spent quite a bit of time at Johnson County Community College trying to identify why entrepreneurs fail, and then being sure that we had curriculum issues that could address that. One of those is that we have a lot of people that want to be entrepreneurs, that have mastered a particular skill. As a matter of fact, they're very passionate about that, but they simply have no business acumen at all. So they love what they're doing, they do wonderful things, but they simply don't know how to make a living out of that. But in other cases, we find that there's persons that have a lot of business acumen, but really don't have a skill or really understand a particular business. We're also seeing more persons coming to us that have grown up in an entrepreneurial family, so they are members of an entrepreneurial family. Displaced workers is another category. All across our nation, that's true. In some cases, those displaced workers have, in some cases, those are really positive people, and in some cases, they're really kind of negative folks. They're upset with what's happened to them and have decided they never want to work for anybody else again. Others may realize that, but they are looking at it as a major opportunity in their life to do something that perhaps they always wanted to do. We're also finding a lot of persons that have retired, and there's kind of a national trend on multiple retirements. I believe that is going on for many folks today. So we are having folks that are retired coming to us. And also we're finding an opportunity with a lot of returning veterans. And we're also hoping that this will certainly be a significant growth opportunity for us as well.
And Donna, jump in here, but knowing the profile of the students was probably pretty instrumental in driving the success of the marketing at Johnson County. So that's one of the reasons we wanted to share this as well, was that became
really
a driving force. Yeah.
Really think about who that audience is.
Well, let's see what's going on in higher education across the country. In 2005, the foundation funded a study by the University of Illinois. And what we asked the university to do was inventory all 2-year and 4-year institutions in the United States and find out what was going on in entrepreneurship. What I pulled to you is the data that's specific to community colleges. There were, and the methodology, the method they used to arrive at this was students going through catalogs, making phone calls to these institutions. They surveyed faculty, they surveyed students, they put together focus groups, they surveyed presidents of these institutions, and all of this data came about as a result of that. Before I start going through this, and I'll say this a couple of times, is that it was at times very hard to distinguish between what was actually an entrepreneurship course and what was still really small business management. And there's a difference. So the university did the best it could do with what it could get its hands on. I also want to say that these numbers I'm sharing, I know from some work we've done recently, have gone up. I'll talk about California specifically in a little bit working on another study, another round. And so don't, if you know, oh my gosh, we have more than that, you probably do. You probably do. So we went after 1,193 of the not-for-profit community colleges.
Well, that's all of them.
Yeah, just short of the 1,200. Yeah. We had 1,044 public institutions. We looked at 149 private. We also collected data based on Department of Education regions and looked at data in 50 states. This study was massive. I know some of you students are just going to want this. But if you want specifics about this information, I can pull it from the foundation. Okay, it'll take me a little bit of time, but I can pull it for you. Of those that were surveyed, that 1,193, almost 800 have at least one course in entrepreneurship. 309 of them actually have programs, meaning that they're offering more than one course. 228 offer certificates, 169 associate degrees. Approximately 300 host an SBDC. I know that number's a little higher than that, but that's what the study showed. And about 660 offered entrepreneurship workshops, seminars, courses on the non-credit side. I know this is difficult to read, but I said that the study broke it down by Department of Education regions. So we looked at what was happening in each of these 10 regions, and I apologize that this program we used cut off a couple of them. But we looked at what was we've got California up here. So at that time, we had 134 offering entrepreneurship courses in your area, and 34 not. So keep that math in mind. 98% of the community colleges offer lower division business courses, whereas 66% offered entrepreneurship. Region 4, I can work that. Down here, this Florida area, down here in the corner. These states have 227 community colleges, and over half of those offer entrepreneurship. Region 4 also has the highest number of small firms, 930-some thousand. Region 8, that was the toward the upper west, had the smallest number of colleges, smallest percent of enrollment, and the smallest number of firms. They're more rural too. About 70% of the private offer no entrepreneurship. This is kind of interesting. Community colleges that lie east of the Mississippi are more likely to offer courses or certificates and associate degrees than those west. We would be west out here. Yeah. The more sparsely settled states are more likely to offer courses than the densely populated, in part because in those rural areas, that's the route they go.